गाइस, मैं हूं क्रिस, आपका इंस्ट्रक्टर फॉर दिस ऑसम सीरीज जिसका नाम है एंड्रॉयड बिगनर टू प्रो विद कॉटलिन। चलिए आज फिर कुछ नया और कुछ अच्छा सीखते हैं। सो कीप वॉचिंग, कीप लर्निंग। ओके गाइस, सो आज हम कवर करने जा रहे हैं इनम क्लासेस। इनम क्लासेस क्या होती हैं एक बार नटशेल में देख लेते हैं। इनम क्लासेस है प्राइवेट कंस्ट्रक्टर। प्राइवेट कंस्ट्रक्टर मीन्स दैट यू कैन नॉट क्रिएट एनी ऑब्जेक्ट आउटसाइड द क्लास, can create object only within the class because your constructor is private. Object are known at compile time. It means that in advance you define your object within class before you compile your code. Finite number of object. It can have a finite number of object. You cannot create object at runtime. Can have normal functions. In enum classes you can have functions like any other class. Can have abstract functions. You can create abstract functions as well, and the objects of class has to implement that using an anonymous class. We'll see that while implementing the enum classes in actions. Your enum classes can implement interfaces as well, so we'll see the example for that as well. While using with when, you have to use all cases. It has to be exhaustive. The example can be direction. Direction is the best qualifier for your enum class because you know in advance that direction can have 4 direction: north, east, south, west. As I told that we have to know the object in advance, right, or at the compile time. So if you see direction, we have 4 objects. Enum class, another example is gender. Gender can be your male, female, or others, nothing apart from that, right? So we know at compile time itself what are our object for gender class. Similarly, you can have game level state, right? So game level state can have like 4 state: not started, started, paused, or completed. So that is also a good qualifier for your enum class. Enum class you create using the enum keyword and then class and the class name. How you access the object of enum class? You use that val or var object name, then enum class dot object name. So for example, north, you can get the direction dot north, gender dot male, and level state, game level state dot started. Okay, so let's see enum classes in action with the examples. Okay guys, so now let's see enum classes in action, right? So I have this package. I'll create a new package enums in that, right? So moving forward, I'll be creating all the classes within a specific package and I'll move this code to GitHub. तो आपको जो है publicly you can access, and if you want to refer, आप जो है code देख सकते हो. तो say this is enums. I created a class, say gender. Let's see how we can create the enum class using enum keyword, right? So in front of class we just put enum and then class name, right? So enum keyword, then class name. So like that we can create our enum class, right? So this is a valid enum class. Now first point, we saw that it has a private constructor, right? So let's say we have a main method here. So if I try to put a public constructor, right, in enum class, it will complain. What kind of complaint? Constructor must be private in enum classes, right? So you cannot override or you cannot make constructor public. So it shows that by default constructor of enum class is private. In my one of the earlier video, when I was telling about or when we were discussing about the access modifier or visibility modifier, मैंने बताया था आपको कि जो है अगर कंस्ट्रक्टर प्राइवेट है, राइट, देन यू कैन क्रिएट ऑब्जेक्ट विद इन क्लास इटसेल्फ यूजिंग कंपेनियन ऑब्जेक्ट. बट यहाँ पे आप बिना कंपेनियन ऑब्जेक्ट के भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. तो हमारा दूसरा पॉइंट था कि आप आउटसाइड इसका ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट नहीं कर सकते, राइट. तो इफ़ आई ट्राई वेल जेंडर इक्वल टू gender here, I'll see error, right? The error is enum types cannot be instantiated, right? So we cannot create instance of enum class. So thing was that we can create our object within the class. So how we create object? So say if we have gender, so gender, what can be the gender? Gender can be the male, right? So this is an object of this class. So how can we say that is a object of this class? So let me do one thing. In this constructor, let me pass say gender name of type string, right? So once I created the constructor. You see, I started getting error. What is the error? Enum has no default constructor, right? So it doesn't have any default constructor, so it has to use this constructor. So I have to pass some value, say male, right? So it shows that what we are doing here, we are creating the object of this class, right? So your gender can have male, female, and again I have to pass some values, say female I want to say, right? So if you see, I am getting some error. Why I'm getting this errors? Because while defining your object, right, what you need to do, you need to put a comma in between of all the objects, right? Third one can be other. So these are the only three possible value for gender, right? So one of the point we saw that it has finite number of object, right? So here finite means you can count, or it's not infinite, it's a limited. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर अगर आप देखोगे तो हमारे कितने हैं, 3 ऑब्जेक्ट हमने बनाए हैं, इसके अलावा हमारा कोई और ऑब्जेक्ट हो नहीं सकता अगर हम जेंडर की बात करें। तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, हमें इनम क्लासेस वहाँ पे यूज़ करनी है जहाँ पे हमारे ऑब्जेक्ट जो है डिफाइंड है ऑलरेडी, या ऑलरेडी हमें पता है कि इतने ही हो सकते हैं, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकते। तो उस केस में हम क्या यूज़ करते हैं, इनम क्लासेस यूज़ कर सकते हैं। So our next point was that we can have a normal function here. So I can say function get say gender name value, right? So get gender name value, what I can do, I can return gender name from here, right? But now there is a problem, is showing some error, right? First error is that its return type should be string, that is fine. Another thing is that once you start your function, right, after the object of classes you need to put a semicolon, right? So once you put a semicolon, you see the error is gone. Now my this gender is available. I can have abstract function as well, right? So say I have abstract fun, right? Fun get say get height, right? And it will return say int 4 now. So you will see that this abstract method, right, when I defined a normal method there was no issue, right? But as soon as defined an abstract function in this class, enum class, these object started complaining. क्या इन्होंने क्या कहा कि भाई क्लास नेम जो है नॉट एब्स्ट्रैक्ट एंड डज नॉट इम्प्लीमेंट एब्स्ट्रैक्ट मेथड, राइट? सो ये क्या कह रहा है कि जो आपके ये ऑब्जेक्ट हैं बेसिकली इन्हें जो है ये मेथड इम्प्लीमेंट करने। अब मेथड तो हम क्लास में इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं, तो यहाँ पे कैसे करेंगे? तो यहाँ पे हम इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं एनोनिमस क्लासेस के थ्रू। एनोनिमस क्लासेस हम जो है कर्ली ब्रैकेट में इस तरह से दे देते हैं। नाउ वी कैन ओवरराइड आवर मेथड। सो वी कैन से ओवरराइड फन गेट हाइट, right? This type of int, let's return 168, right? That is nothing but say some centimeter. So similarly I have to override here as well, right? Override get height, so usually return say 160. Similarly I have to do here override this one, say I say return 155 or something, right? Now I have defined the abstract method as well as the normal functions in our gender class. Now I can access those if you want. So first of all, to accessing these methods, right, we have to access the object of enum class. And in our case, what are the object of our class? This male, female and others, right? These are the objects. So how we can refer these objects? We can say well male is equal to gender, and the object we defined with dot, so dot male. So in this way we can access the object, right? So now if I say println, what I can say male dot, it has two methods, right? Get gender name value, right? And similarly I can do println male dot get height, right? So if I run that, hopefully I should get the proper values, male and 168. So if I change this, so I'm referring to female now. This object, basically this is referring to female now, right? So I can change that to female, and if I'll try to run, I'll get information from female object. So similarly I can do for other as well. Next thing was that we can implement the interfaces. So say I create another class here. So it's basically will be interface. So I'll select interface. Interface का नाम what we can say कि say color definition, right? So say I have some function here. Function is black, right? Is black, and it will return boolean. So now if I want to implement this interface on this class, how we implement an interface, colon and the interface name, color definition. So if you see, we got the error in all the three objects, right? What is the error? That this interface we implement, right? We need to override the method in that as well. So if I override that method here, is black, right? Say return true, then we are good, because this color definition interface is implemented by class gender and is providing the implementation of its is black method. So if I don't do that, right, if I don't do that, I have to provide that implementation in each object using anonymous class, right? So similarly like this I can say, right, I can return some value, say here false, right? And similarly I can use these value along with this, right? So what I can do, print ln female dot is black. I have this method available in each object of my enum class now. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now we'll see one more thing. What is that? So if I want to see what all objects are available in a particular enum class, there are some synthetic methods available for that. Synthetic methods are nothing but the method provided by Kotlin as an base implementation or standard implementation. So how I can find all the object of enum class? I can use for here, right? Say gender, and then I can say in gender dot values, right? Gender dot values I can say, right? So now if I do print ln, sorry, print ln, right? So I can print what, gender dot is black, right? Or I can print ln gender dot get height, right? So these are the two methods which I defined. Along with that, two synthetic property are provided by Kotlin. What are those properties? Those properties are gender dot name. Name is nothing but the name of the object itself. So here I created this male object, so capital male will be the name of that particular object. The another thing it provides is the ordinal. So what is the ordinal? Ordinal is the position of particular object in this enum class. So here male it starts from 0. So your male will be 0, female will be 1, other will be 2. So if I run this program now, right, you will see that female 160 false true, right? So these are the values. Then again we got like is black, this height, this, right? Name we got male and we got 0, right? So like that we can get name and ordinal, which are synthetic properties again, and these values as well. There is one more thing, this values is preferred to be used before Kotlin 1.9.0. After 1.9.0 is one property or synthetic property, that is entries, right? It's not method now, it's properties, but it's available only after Kotlin 1.9.0. If you want to use before that, or if you want to access all the value of enum before that, you have to use values. So if I run that now, you will see I'll get the same result. So another thing we talked about in pointers regarding the when. So let's see how that works. So for now, I'll comment this particular part up to here. Okay, and say I define another function here in this class. So in a particular file, basically you can define multiple classes, you can define basically multiple functions, right? Functions can be part of class itself, or it can be outside of class as well, right? So say I define the function get discount, right? And what it is taking, say its input is gender. What we want to do, based on different gender, we want to provide different discount, right? So it's returning int. Okay, so what I can do, because if you see for our in our flow control, you saw that for decision making we can use when, right? So when gender, सो बेस्ड ऑन जेंडर क्या है, मैं कुछ डिस्काउंट देना चाह रहा हूँ, तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करूँगा, मैं यहाँ पे बोलूँगा इफ़ जेंडर डॉट मेल, अगर मेल है तो मान लीजिए मेरा डिस्काउंट होगा 10%, राइट? इफ़ जेंडर डॉट फीमेल, तो मान लीजिए मेरा डिस्काउंट होगा 20%, राइट? एंड इफ़ जेंडर डॉट अदर है तो मेरा डिस्काउंट है 30%. And what I can do, I can return this, because this method is expecting int to be returned, right? So I can return that. So when I can use an expression as well. So this is when where we are using is expression, we are returning the value whatever is here, right? So now after this female instance creation, if I say well discount is equal to get discount and I'm passing female here. If I print that, print ln, right? So I will say discount is the dollar discount and say percentage. Okay, so if I run this program, because for female what we are offering 20% discount, right? So we'll get 20%, right? So discount is 20%. So say if I change that to other, right? So other are expected to get 30% discount. So we'll get 30% discount. So now, as I said that in when we have to cover all the cases, it has to be exhaustive. Whatever are the possible value of this gender, right? We need to cover. So if I comment a particular, it will start giving error that when expression must be exhaustive. Exhaustive means it should cover all the cases. If I'm not covering all the cases, I can use else, right? I told you at the time of control flow video. So discount is 25% because other is neither male nor female, right? So I hope this is clear. So we have covered most of the things regarding enums. हेलो गाइस, उम्मीद करता हूँ ये वीडियो आपको पसंद आया होगा, इससे आपको कुछ नया सीखने को मिला होगा. अगर आपको ये वीडियो वास्तव में पसंद आया तो मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, ताकि मुझे मोटिवेशन मिलता रहे आपके लिए नए नए और अच्छे अच्छे वीडियो बनाने के लिए. तो कीप वॉचिंग, कीप लर्निंग. मिलते हैं एक नई वीडियो में नए टॉपिक के साथ. थैंक यू.